Spirits with spirits.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is Spirits with Spirits. This will be an exclusive episode for a Scare Network.
Sorry.
I'm your host, John Watkins, and of course, your host who likes to dance the most, Mr. David Lowe.
What's up, everybody?
How's it going?
How you doing, bro? Got
Doing all right. Got some beers in me. I'm having a good time.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, me too. Got some beers in me. I'm definitely feeling a lot better than I did earlier. So, it's look back time to where we take some of our favorite cryptids and haunted locations and we've talked about in the past, and we're kind of redoing them for Scare Network TV, with the added bonus of giving them the lowdown treatment.
Yeah.
And for tonight's look back episode, we're going to take a look at Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster.
I love good old Nessie.
And let's see how she adds up, how she scores up against other cryptids that we've done.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where Nessie ranks up here with other cryptids.
Backward.
Yeah. I guess it ranks backward. And I guess my real thing is, so what was your first memory of the Loch Ness Monster? And when did you first hear about it?
I have to think it had to be early 80s when I remember the first time hearing about the Loch Ness Monster and everything. Of course, I was a little at that time, but I remember being scared to go into a lake because of Loch Ness Monster as a kid. I thought there was a sea dragon that was just going to come up and eat me. But I mean, it was early 80s when they were talking about it, and because I know, like, the first time this thing ever got pictured or whatnot was like back in 1933 or something like that. But I remember a news report for Loch Ness Monster on like NBC or ABC. It was like one of the big, and there was no Fox yet. There,
no,
ABC, NBC, CBS. That's all you had. 3 channels. But it was. I remember a news report talking about it. And it was. I remember it just I don't want to say it scared me as a kid, but it freaked me out as a kid. I'm like, holy crap! So every time I went to the lake, I thought, oh, shit,
I don't
Loch Ness
know.
Monster could be in here. What the hell? I wasn't, I was too young to realize that, it was all the way in Scotland. But
well, it's interesting because it's not only reported, I mean, Loch Ness Monster specifically is in Scotland. And Loch Ness is the name of the lake that it's supposedly in.
Yes.
But there are reports of these sea creatures all over in rivers, lakes. I know there's one reported in the Great Lakes area, like Lake Michigan or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's like the Alabama River Monster or whatever they call it. But there's quite a few of these sea creatures.
Yes.
And you're talking about how, when you were a kid, You were afraid that Nessie was going to come up at you. I had a different fear of fish when I was a kid.
Good old Jaws.
And that was because I first watched Jaws when I was 6 years old in 1976. And I refused to learn how to swim until I was 10 because I wouldn't go in the water. Oh,
Yeah.
it's like, F that, bro. I
The
didn't, I
movie
didn't, I was like, bodies of water. I didn't care. I didn't go in the ocean, a lake. I didn't
Why
take a
did you
bath.
come?
there
I
was
switched right to showers after that and never took a bath again because I was afraid there was going to be a damn shark underneath the water.
I don't know what I was
Um,
saying here, but that movie created there wasn't a movie that created more hysteria. I think there's one movie that might have created more hysteria or one something that was,
I was
fiction
going to say War of the
fiction
Worlds.
was War of the Worlds, I think might have been the only thing that's ever created more mass hysteria
Yeah.
than Jaws. People were scared to go in the oceans. They started killing sharks everywhere. I mean,
Yep.
that movie scared the world. uh, and the only thing I can compare it to was
Red.
Orson Welles' War of the Worlds radio
Yep.
broadcast.
Because,
And there was
if
no
you didn't
television.
tune in, because before it started, the War of the Worlds broadcast on the radio,
Yes,
it
if you
said,
didn't catch it at the
this
very
is
beginning.
fiction.
Yeah, if you didn't catch
Yeah,
it at the very beginning.
blah, blah, they didn't catch it. So they actually thought we were being invaded.
Closet.
And
Well,
yeah,
that
people
really
hid in
gave you
their
a
closet.
really good test of what would happen if aliens really came out.
Oh my
You have all
goodness.
this like, "Yay, aliens," until it actually happens, I guarantee you all these people that are going, "Yay, aliens," are gonna be running for their life.
They're gonna
Scared
be,
as
yeah.
hell.
It's not gonna be Independence Day where they're gonna be up there with signs and shit. It's
I
gonna
think
be,
there might be
we're out.
Where are
there
you?
might be a couple
We're,
people. Take
might be
us.
a couple of idiots, but as a general rule, the populace is gonna go, oh shit, we're out of here.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this was an actual fear of mine. I actually thought this was going to happen, so I was like, no, I'm not learning how to swim at the YMCA. Fuck that. I'm not going in that water.
Shark in
There's going to
there.
be Bruce is going to be in there waiting for me. And I was like, no. But we're here to talk about Loch Ness Monster. Now, Loch
Yeah.
Ness Monster is reportedly, and I'm trying to
Good.
find it, some kind of dinosaur,
Yeah,
which
it's,
they suspect.
which would
And
be
I
I guess
had
the
it,
best
but now
depiction
I
would
can't
be
find it in my research.
this right here would be the best depiction of that dinosaur. I can't remember the name of it. Uh,
It's like it's a plesiosaur.
yeah, plesiosaur. There you go.
That's what it's called. Aquatic dinosaur once thought to exclusively reside in salt water
Yeah,
is now believed to spend a lot of its time in freshwater. And that was something that they found just recently because they were like, there's no way that a plesiosaur would live in fresh water. That's not true. They
that's
actually found fossils
in
of like
area.
families of plesiosaurs in freshwater basins
Yes.
that have long since been gone. So this is absolutely possible.
Oh yeah.
Then the other thing is they say Loch Ness is not 65 million years old,
No, they
but
don't
that
believe.
isn't to say that there's, they're talking about there being like some kind of underground passageway or
I
underwater
was gonna
passageway.
I was gonna bring that up too.
Yeah,
It's very possible that there could be an underground passageway that he goes out to the ocean or she, whatever you want. I think they describe it more as a female.
yeah, they describe because
I'm not
they call her Nessie, so I'm sure
Yeah,
that's not it's not Nelly. Then I would say that was a he, but
yeah.
then the dinosaur would come up, have a band-aid on his cheek, and nothing would work right.
Hey, kid,
I'd be less afraid of it and
here.
have a band-aid on his cheek. Take off all your clothes. I'm
Bunch of little more Nellies come out. It gets so hot. I won't take my clothes off.
Yes, we have had a little too many beers, I think. So
We've been drinking. But no, Loch Ness is actually described as a large, long neck with one or more humps. I think it only has one, but they do say
I
possibly with
do
more
say
than
it can have possibly more than one. Yeah.
protruding from the water. Uh, Papa believes the creature has varied since it was brought to worldwide attention. Yeah, 1933.
1933.
Evidence of its existence
And I actually
is
have the picture.
anecdotal, with a number of disputed photographs and sonar readings, which I found interesting. Oh, you got the picture from 1933?
I have the picture from 1933 right there.
Watching you.
Now, unfortunately, they have proven that this picture was an actual hoax. Unfortunately,
Okay.
Okay.
okay. You sound like my daughter. Okay.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't give a shit. That's
Now,
like, this is one of the
was it a
I
hoax
saw this and I'm like, dude.
based off something this guy saw?
Yeah.
And he's like, I gotta do something. I gotta make people believe me with this story of what I seen, because I probably saw something more like that, and this is what he came up with. I think
Yeah.
that's
So
very,
yeah, he
very
did some kind of
possible. He's like,
model
Hug.
of it.
yeah, it's reminds me like Pete's Dragon, where nobody believes him, but he sees the dragon,
Mhm.
and so he figures out he's gonna do something to make people believe that, see what he's seen, and he built this and then took a picture of it and showed it to everybody, but they did prove that it was a hoax, that he did. It was something he put in the water and took a picture of it. They didn't have Photoshop back then. Uh,
Yeah.
so, but hey, man, kudos to the craftsmanship. Holy crap!
Yeah. That's some pretty good. That ain't some paper mache shit. That's that's good stuff, right?
Revolting.
Revolting. I
So,
guess it's revolting.
so the
And now
courier
even
actually,
though
go ahead.
let's see, it was August of 1933 when it was given worldwide attention, but the first report of a monster in that lake is in the year 565.
Yes.
So in the life of Saint Columbia was the name of the book or whatever, was written in the 6th century. And I believe the person who wrote it, his name is Adomnan.
Adomnan? Yeah.
Yeah. And basically,
Yeah, an
the
Irish
Irish monk Saint
yeah.
Columbia was staying in the land of the Picts with his companions when he encountered
It's
local
cold.
residents burying a man by the river Ness. They explained that the man was swimming in the river when he was attacked by a water beast that mauled him and dragged him underwater despite their attempts to rescue him by boat.
Columbus sent a follower. I I'm gonna try and kill this name. Lugni
Murdered.
Moku Min. Yeah, they sent Luigi in.
They sent Luigi in to get Mario and swim
Uh,
across the river.
the beast approached him, but Columba made the sign of the cross and said, "Go no further. Do not touch the man. Go back at once." The creature stopped as if it had been pulled back with ropes and fled. And Columba's men in the pits gave thanks for
Then.
what they perceived as a miracle. That's crazy. But believers of Loch Ness actually point to this story.
Yeah.
Now, this was set in the River Ness rather than in the loch itself, which is basically a landlocked lake.
Yeah.
Evidence for the creature's existence as early as the 6th centuries. Skeptics still question the narrative's reliability, noting the water beast stories were extremely common in medieval hagiograph, hagiographies. Hagiographies? Hagiographies? Uh, ha ha hagiographies?
Sorry.
Hagiographies? Hagiographies? How do you say it, Dave?
It's it's uh, it's hagiography.
Hagiographies?
Hagiography is
There's only
the
one G
biography
there.
of a saint or ecclesiastical leader.
But that it sounds like that would be more than one G, don't you think?
Hagiography. It's
Hagiog
Hagiograph. Hagiography. I could be wrong. Yours sounded so much more fun, bro.
Hagiographies?
Hagiographies.
Stories about saints, okay?
It's raining.
It's pouring. The old man is snoring. He went to bed, bumped his head.
I can smell it.
You won't wake up till the morning.
Yeah. It's raining.
Innocent.
So yeah, but I was like, wow, it goes back to 6th century. That was something I didn't know. I thought that was really cool. Now what I did hear about is the one that Mackenzie of Balnain found in 1871 or 1872, where he reportedly saw an object resembling a log or an upturned boat wriggling and churning up the water, moving slowly at first before disappearing at faster speed. But that account was not published until 1934, when Mackenzie sent his story in a letter to Rupert Gould, shortly after the interest for the monster peaked. So once 33 came in and everybody was like, "Ooh, Loch Ness Monster," and he goes, "Oh yeah, I saw that," and he sends a letter to the dude and says, "Hey, publish this," and that's something that was reported in 1934, but actually happened in 1871 or 1872.
Yeah. Well, then you also have Alexander MacDonald in 1888.
Right.
He was a
Curse.
mason of Abercon. Holy crap. Sighted a large, stubby-legged animal surfing from the loch and propelling itself within 50 yards of the shore where McDonald stood. McDonald reported his sighting to Loch Ness water bailiff Alex Campbell and described the creature as looking like a salamander. And that seems, that'd be a big ass fucking salamander.
Yeah. It'd be a giant ass salamander.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have Aldi Mackey in 1930.
Aldi McKay, yeah.
Oh, you say McKay, I say Mackey, but you're right. It's McKay. I've been drinking.
There's some hate.
Then you have George Spicer,
Yellow.
also in 33.
Yeah. But it was the Aldi McKay one was the best known article.
Yes. Yeah, that went to the Courier.
Yeah.
And
that was the one that just blew up all over the world.
Yeah. Yes, interest skyrocketed with that when it hit the Courier.
Moron.
Countless letters being sent in detailing different sightings, describing a monster fish, sea serpent, or dragon, with the final name ultimately setting on Loch Ness Monster. Since the 40s, the creature has been affectionately called Nessie. Yeah. Good old Nessie.
Yeah, there's so much. But yeah, I like the Aldi McKay account. So the sighting by Aldi McKay of an enormous creature with the body of a whale rolling in the water in the loch while she and her husband John were driving on the 15th of April, 1933. And that's when the first word monster was used.
That was Spicer, right?
This was McKay.
Oh, that was McKay.
This was McKay. Spicer's sighting was on July 22nd of 33.
Yeah, him and his wife saw it.
Him and his wife saw a most extraordinary form of animal cross the road in front of their car. So now we're talking amphibious.
Yes.
They described the creature as having a large body, about 4 feet high and 25 feet long, wavy, narrow neck, slightly thicker than an elephant's trunk,
It's
and
unknown.
as long as the 10 to 12 foot width of the road.
Wow.
They saw no limbs. It lurched across the road toward the loch 20 yards away, leaving a trail of broken undergrowth in its wake. Spicer described it as the nearest approach to a dragon or prehistoric animal that I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And as having, I said, having a long neck which moved up and down in a manner of a scenic railway. It had an animal in its mouth
Missing.
and a body that was fairly big with a high back, but if there were any feet, they must have been of the web kind. And
Cheating.
as for the tail, they couldn't say, as it moved so fast. When it got to the spot, it had disappeared into the lake by the time they got there.
So he came out of the lake and went hunting, grabbed like a deer or
Went
something.
and got some food. That's what it was. Yeah, they didn't have Postmates back then, so you gotta
you gotta
go get it yourself. Loch Ness Monster's calling Grubhub. Say, man, it'll send me some goats or some chickens or something. No, come and get it. Damn it.
Wow. I mean, this thing is just seen over and over and over again.
And yeah, there's another in November of 33 from Hugh Gray, Arthur Grant in 34, a surgeon's photograph in 34,
Robert.
Taylor film in 38, William Fraser in 38, sonar readings in 54, Peter McNabb in 55. It goes on and on and on up to what I have here in 2015 from a Google Street View.
Yeah. Yeah. All the way into 2015. That is phenomenal.
And then, in 2014, it was an Apple Maps photograph. Satellite image on Apple Maps showed and appeared to be a large creature just below the surface of Loch Ness. At the loch's far north, the image appeared about 30 meters long. But they thought it might have been the wake of a boat or something like that.
Yeah.
But I thought that was interesting. So Apple Maps caught something and Google Street View caught something.
Wow. So in 1987, Operation Deep South, and I mean they used like 20 boats. The most ambitious sonar survey of Loch Ness found 3 unexplained underwater targets.
No energy.
So the use of technology to search the loch reached a new level in the 1970s when a series of expeditions was sponsored by the Boston-based Academy of Applied Science. Those members include many technical skilled people with ties to MIT. The Academy's approach was to set up a trap for the monster by combing sonar and underwater photography for the first time.
Come and go.
The leadership of Robert Rhines, a lawyer trained in physics, the team pointed a sophisticated form of sonar called side scan sonar out into Loch Ness from a point near the shore. Nearby, they placed an underwater camera taking pictures every 45 seconds as a strobe light illuminated the depths with a bright flash. The system paid off one night in 1975. At the same moment, the sonar was registering a large moving object. The underwater camera was taking pictures in an object that looked, after development and computer enhancement, like the flippers of an aquatic creature. Ryan's discovery won the support of 2 reputable scientists, Harold Doc Edgerton, the legend MIT scientist who had invented side-scan sonar and strobe photography, and Sir Peter Scott. We all know that name. One of Britain's most respectful naturalists. With Edgerton and Scott behind him, Rhines was given an opportunity to present his evidence at a hearing at the House of Commons in London. Never had the possibility of the Loch Ness Monster been taken so seriously. Almost immediately, however, critics began to raise questions about the evidence. Could the suggested sonar traces be the result of human error? Had the flipper photos been altered to improve their appearance? Just as damaging to Ryan's case was Peter Scott's bold pronouncement about the identity of the creature. Based on the
We.
flipper photos and eyewitness sightings, Scott concluded that Nessie was a plesiosaur, an
Yeah.
ancient reptile that was thought to have gone extinct along with the dinosaurs some 65 million years ago. That idea was just too far-fetched for professional zoologists to take seriously, which I don't understand. So when the dinosaurs went extinct, and a lot of people think it was due to the comet hit or the asteroid hitting the Earth and
Right.
and
Pause
creating
it.
the ice age, right? What killed the dinosaurs?
Yeah.
The ice age. All the ocean did not freeze over. Maybe on top, but not underneath. Like you can go ice fishing just because the surface of the lake is 12 inches of ice doesn't mean there's no fish down underneath it swimming around in water. It's not like all the ocean just solidified and became ice. There's very possibility that these things could have survived.
Yeah. I don't have
I
any
think
doubt. There's, a lot of the cryptids that we've talked about on the show very closely resemble
Yeah,
dinosaurs, and that they could be like, like Nessie. This could be a plesiosaur that just, and there could be more than one. There's so many sightings all over the place. There could be more than one of these
yeah.
plesiosaurs,
Like the
that
Lake
are out there.
Michigan, the Lake Michigan one that we were talking about earlier when we first started talking about this,
Uh-huh.
could very well be just another Nessie, just different location.
Yeah.
ceremony.
I
We
find it.
apparently even have one here in Central California.
Yeah, if I remember right.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about that,
Yeah,
like the Central Valley Nessie or something like that. I
yeah.
don't know what they call it, but um,
But I found that interesting. I mean, they did this. They did two sonar things on here, and both of them caught something.
yeah,
One actually had that light strobe effect thing
What
going
should
on,
I
where
do?
water catching the picture at the same time the sonar caught something.
Mm.
That goes hand in hand with something being down there. It's like they proved it from two different angles.
yeah, yeah. I've got a sonar hit from 1954
Only
that they
for you.
did, and 2011.
Yeah, it's
There was another one. The sonar study was 67, 68. Hmm, There's some crazy. There's Operation Deep Scan in
yeah,
87. That's what you were talking about.
yeah, yeah. Caught three different blips.
Yeah.
But I love the one from 1970. Sir Peter Scott involved. I mean, that's and where he went with it, I think he was onto something, honestly. I mean, there's 700 square miles
You know.
of water, of surface water in Loch Ness,
Yeah.
not counting how deep it is. 1,800 square kilometers is what that. I mean, that place is huge. Again, I mean, a lot of people think that Loch Ness is a solitary survivor of the Ice Age, and I think it's very possible it's not a solitary survivor.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think that's the only one, and I think that's
It's dark.
why it could have more than one hump. I think there might be some with one hump, might be some with two humps.
Just like a camel.
Yeah.
I
I'm getting a
mean,
weird static. Are you hearing that?
that's you. That's only on your side.
I know.
I think it's raining like it's raining like hell right now.
Oh, is that what it is? You're hearing the actual rain hit?
I think it's the rain hitting the house. That's what I'm hearing.
But look at some of these photos.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know, that's CGI.
Yeah.
Sorry. Where is it?
Is this Scotland?
Yeah, Scotland. Like I said, I'd grabbed just some pictures, but there's a ton of these pictures.
Yeah, tons.
Yeah.
I don't think that's Loch Ness, but that's an interesting picture. Maybe a baby? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's pretty skinny. But I'm very well could be this right here.
Mm-hmm.
One thing's for sure, it's not that.
No. That's my own private nightmare. But there's the Edward Mountain expedition in 1934, where they had 20 men with binoculars and cameras position themselves around the loch from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. for 5 weeks.
Paul.
They took a whole bunch of photographs and found stuff, but all the footage was destroyed.
How the hell that happened?
I don't know. They couldn't find any of the footage. But they say they caught something, and zoologists and stuff are just kind of dismissing it, saying, "Oh, you probably saw seals or whatever." But they had 20 people with binoculars and cameras around the loch just to take pictures during the day, just to be there all day long to film and take pictures.
What was it? What year was this?
1934.
1934.
It was like the year after when it blew up.
Sorry.
Yeah, Ryan did studies all the way up until 2008 of this thing.
Yeah.
That's just great. I'm just reading on Ryan's studies when he did this.
Laughing.
Is just crazy. Just reading on that. It's 75.
Now, there's a magician in 1977 who they believe this was a hoax, but his act, he supposedly summoned Nessie out of the water in his act.
Really?
Yeah.
Tube.
And they were like, no, that's fake. That was interesting. There's in 2007, a 55-year-old laboratory technician videotaped what he said was a jet black creature about 46 feet long.
Give it back.
Moving fairly fast in the water. Really? And Adrian Shine, who was a marine biologist at the Loch Ness Center, described the footage as among the best footage he had ever seen.
Oh.
Until he gets on TV. So it ends up getting on the news, right? They show the video on the news and all this kind of stuff. And then they interview that Adrian guy, who said that was the best footage he's ever seen. And then he turns around on camera and says, Oh no, it was probably some kind of water bird or seal or something
Medicine.
like that. So he
Yeah.
totally recanted his statement.
I wonder who got to him, who made
I don't know.
him. I found it interesting. They did a DNA survey in
Closet.
2018 of Loch Ness.
Yeah.
The results were published in 2019. No DNA of large fish such as sharks, sturgeons, catfish could be found. No otter or seal DNA were obtained either. I find that interesting, honestly. Though there was a lot of eel DNA, and that's interesting as well.
Yeah.
The leader of the study, Professor Neil Grimmel of the University of Otago, said he could not rule out the possibility of eels of extreme size, though none were found, nor were any ever caught. The other possibility is that large amount of eel DNA simply comes from many small eels. No evidence of any reptilian sequences were found, he added. So I think we can be fairly sure that there's probably not a giant scaly reptile swimming around in Loch Ness. I don't think Loch Ness is a reptile to begin with. A lot of people consider, just because they're dinosaur, they're reptile. That's not the case. Megalodon was a dinosaur. Megalodon is not a fucking reptile.
No.
But I could the fact that Loch Ness is that Paleosaurus or whatever you call it, Plesiosaurus, could that be related to the eels?
Yeah, I mean, far be it from me to question scientists or whatever, but do they really know what plesiosaur DNA is like? Could it be like eel DNA? Could they be
Yeah.
descendants? Could there be some kind of relationship or ancestry there?
Yeah. I
What do you want?
Right now I want a shot of tequila, but maybe some sake. Um this this is an interesting thing. And they're kind of um oh, this is interesting. So okay, so if Nessie is an animal, it'd have to have a mother, and at one point there had to have been a viable breeding population of the species. However, some more unconventional theories suggest that Nessie comes from some type of space-time anomaly, causing a plesiosaur, basilosaurus, or some even say sauropod to be transported to present day.
He won't
Even
leave.
even stranger theories suggest genetic experiments and mutations, though these are all considered very unlikely and, of course, presume the creature exists in the first place. It also says the idea of horns may sound ridiculous, but it may have some credence to it if the Loch Ness Monster is actually a zeuglodon, which is a primitive species of whale. Because the zeuglodons are only a few steps removed from mesonychids, ungulate predators, and ungulates often have horns. Most Nessie theories suggest that it has a family of plesiosaurs. Another theory suggests that Nessie is a large leech. Well, it was all over the place. Show this. Can I show this? Hang on. I found the picture from the 6th century. The drawing. And he's gone. Okay, I hope his power didn't go out. So, hang on. I'm going to show this off really quick.
I'm back.
He's back. I was all talking, you didn't answer, and I'm like, wait, oh, he's gone. The heck?
You gotta love thunderstorms.
We've got one going on here too. So, but no, what I was saying, and I'm grabbing it right now, is I found the picture or the drawing from the 6th century.
Oh wow.
Bite.
Yeah, we're gonna take a bite out of this. Let's check this out.
Oh wow. That looks weird.
Yeah. So it says on August 22nd, 564, St. Columbia famously encountered a water demon in the River Ness in Scotland. Cryptozoologists and various authors claim this 6th century account was the first sighting of the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh, I got something very interesting here for you, Dave.
Oh, lay it on.
Was June 9th. June 9th, 3 days ago, 2023.
Okay.
The multi-million pound project that hopes to finally find the Loch Ness Monster, marking the
Not
90th
likely.
anniversary of that was funny. Marking the 90th anniversary
Not all of
the
us.
first sighting of the world's most famous cryptid, the revamped Loch Ness Center opens to the public. A dark loch, a roll of skin rushing out, beast-like presence black and wet, the water bubbling and boiling. There's a bunch of shit here to read.
False.
Oh, I gotta start a free trial to finish it. That sucks.
Son of a bitch.
That sucks. That sucks. But this was 3 days ago. This got published on the Telegraph. Oh, I wish I could finish reading that. Oh,
All right.
I want to know more about that now. I might have to subscribe to the Telegraph just so I can read the Loch Ness. Multi-million. Yeah, that's 3 days ago.
Good.
Good. All right. What do you say we score this thing?
So okay, hold on. Can I share this one? Yeah. This is I like this picture. When I think of Loch Ness, this is exactly what I think of right here.
It's outside.
Better not be outside.
Nurse.
Oh man. Changing Scotland. How do you think that had an effect on the community of Scotland though? What
I'll
do you
tell you
th-
this. I don't think I heard of Scotland before this.
Yeah, right?
I think this put Scotland on the map. No pun intended.
Oh, did you read about the Lost
Cloth.
Taylor film? May 29th, 1938, a tourist by the name of G.E. Taylor took a film of what he believed to be the Loch Ness
Yeah.
Monster. Film was in color and had 3 minutes of recorded footage on 16 mm film. The film was sold to Maurice Burton, popular science writer, but was not shared with other researchers. The film was largely forgotten until 1961 when Burton published a single frame from the footage in his book. Burton claims that the film was of a floating object on an animal. However, since the original footage was never been released to the public, it's unlikely that we'll ever know for sure. It'd been nice to see
Hag.
the whole footage of that. That would have been great.
Yeah.
Apple adds to the theory of Loch Ness.
You're listening.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're listening. There's just so much.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead and score this, Dave. Let's go ahead and score it. So the size of this thing.
The size has to be a 10.
Yeah, I mean the body itself is 30 feet.
This is a big bastard, and probably they said what, 8 to 12 foot neck.
Yeah.
So this thing is easily 45, 50 feet long. Easily. And it's thick around the midsection, so it's big.
Yeah, it's got mass to it.
It's got some girth.
Probably carrying a whole deer in its mouth across the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 10 is the accurate score here.
Yeah.
Speed, if you had to go underwater, I think this thing is in the water.
I think it's fast. Well, and they had the depiction from the couple driving on the road.
Yeah, even on land, it moves so
and
fast.
They said, it covered, because it was 20 feet from the lake.
Yeah.
It crossed the road and got to the lake before their car got there.
Yeah.
And he was gone, and she was gone. It was underwater, gone.
Yeah.
So I think it's deceptively fast on land too. And considering its size, it can cover a lot of ground with just a single step. We talked about this with the other big creatures that we've been doing.
Or a single whoosh of its flapper under the water.
Yeah.
I think this thing can move. I think it can move fast. Especially in water.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think this is pretty close to a 10 here. Pretty close. I don't think it's 10. It's not teleporting from lake to lake or anything like that. Again,
which is interesting, because one of the theories does say that it traveled in time.
Do you think it traveled in time though?
I don't think so, but that's one of the theories. I don't see this one as being like a time traveling thing.
No.
It's not Star Trek 4. I'm sorry.
I think I'd probably put the speed here on an 8.
I think I'm down for an 8, bro. I like that. I wasn't at a 10 or a 9, but I could do 7 or 8 easy.
Yeah,
and
I was thinking
an 8 is good.
It's not a 10. Is it a 9?
Please listen.
Less than 9. So I think
how did you get here?
Through
Considering
conversation and considerations based off what depictions of people have reported.
and we estimate that it's probably much faster underwater.
Oh yeah.
And just like a submarine, it gets faster the deeper it goes. So on the surface, it's probably not too fast, but as she goes down, quicker than shit. Like shit through a goose, that thing is so fast.
So evidence.
Worship.
I mean,
some of you worship. There's
a lot of evidence here, bro.
I'm just gonna go off of the 1970 something footage, or not footage, but with Rhines. I'm fascinated by the fact that they got a sonar hit with a picture at the same time.
Yeah,
that to me is fascinating. that to me is just fascinating. And of course, the 3 hits that they got when they did the deep dive in '87 of something moving very fast. Um, I think the evidence here is good. I think it's really good.
Yeah.
Um, I all the pictures, we take them as they come.
Brother.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know.
I don't
I don't
know if
think
I'm
I'm
at a
10.
10. So our
Screen.
our our 10s for evidence have been with the rake, the yowie, and the skunk ape. And then we gave
A lot of
9s to the
evidence.
Thunderbird and La Llorona.
A lot of evidence with those as well.
Yeah.
I
think
don't
those are
think this matches up to the 9 or 10. I think an 8 would go
I think an
really
8 solid. That's a good score, bro. I'm down for that.
aggression. I don't feel the aggression level here with this thing
What
is
brought you
very
here?
well. I know you
I
have the
will
big
s-
story in the 16th century of attacking a man,
Yeah.
but I still don't get that. Maybe a little territorial if it need be. Maybe that thing, like when it was
I think it
crossing
might be
the
defensive.
Canadians.
Like I think it might be defensive, like protecting its young or something
Yeah,
like
'cause
that.
when the saint yelled at it to go back where it came from, it went back, it left, like it
It did,
understood him, which was
like
weird.
this. Go back where you gave like the like Loch Ness Monster is demonic. I
Yeah,
mean, but um
I can see why you might think it might be demonic, you seeing something like that, especially in that time period.
like it doesn't.
The devil is coming
I
out of
think
the
yeah,
ocean.
I think there's some aggression here, but I think it's really low.
If I was gonna put, like, any type of score on the aggression level here, I think I'd probably go maybe a 3.
Yeah. I'm like 3, and then I'm like looking at 4 going,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's maybe 4, so it means I'm at a 3, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah. Okay. I didn't think the lore was gonna be this good.
The lore is fantastic.
And
The
we're
lore
going back to 6th century.
Yeah, the lore is fantastic here.
The lore is so much better than I thought. I was like, oh, 1933 was the first sighting? Eh.
The lore is so good, you didn't know about Scotland until you heard about Loch Ness, you know what I mean?
But I mean, I gotta say the lore is really good. I'm
Yeah,
like I'm like 9 or 10 with the lore, I think.
I was thinking 9 with the lore, I was thinking
Maybe.
9.
I'm down for a 9.
I think there has been better lore is what I'm saying. I think there
Yes,
has been better lore, but
Taylor.
it's not much better
it
than
has
here.
been better. Yeah, and we're looking at our other 9s are like the Menehune, the Banshee, Tommy Knockers, and I like that going along with those.
Yep.
And I just put a 10 for sightings because I think that's the biggest thing here.
Yeah, and again, I'm
I
gonna
don't
go
see
back
any
to
reason why this is not a 10.
1972 with that in '87. I think
Yeah.
those are fantastic,
Yeah.
fantastic things that they did and
Yeah.
caught
Yeah.
physical evidence of something, especially that again, the sonar with the picture at the same time, that just
Yeah.
include yeah, I'm at
We've got sightings to the 6th century. We've got stuff all the way through. We
yeah.
got Google Maps and Apple Maps picked this thing up.
Yes.
So yeah, I
I
think
I
the
wanna I
sightings.
wanna read I can't wait to find out what they find out with that article from
Yeah.
June 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Can't wait to find out what they get from there.
Yeah.
Audio here, I think this hurts
I
a lot
think the
better.
audio hurts here because I don't think you hear Nessie too much.
No, maybe some water ripples or anything like that, but Leslie's not sticking his head out going, "Roar." You know,
So I'm thinking like 2 on the audio.
I'll give 2 just because the water ripples that people
Yeah.
hear. I'll give a 2 there. I'll agree with that. I was gonna be a 1, but people could hear the water and see. Okay, I can go with that. So the
Dig.
physical and object here, it did attack the man.
It attacked the man. It
Killed the man.
does. It has to go and get food, so it has to go and attack
Yeah.
livestock.
They saw it. The
They
one
saw it had something in its mouth.
an animal in its mouth. It destroyed the undergrowth as it went across
Yeah, it
the
destroys
the
the brush as it comes up and goes back
Yeah.
in. It disturbs the water. I'm going to consider the lake
Yeah.
itself as
Yeah.
an object.
Yeah. Disturbance of water. I think the lack I'm gonna put this in the physical object here. I think the lack of catfish and fish that are not in the lake. I'm gonna
Eels.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fact I think I'm gonna put that in the
I
physical
mean,
object.
that's like, okay, you got to think that Nessie's kind of cleaning that out.
Yeah. With how big that thing is, how much it's
Yeah.
eating, there's a reason why you can't go fishing at the Loch Ness. You're
Yeah.
not catching nothing. The Nessie's getting it
I'm
all.
also going to at least throw a nod to the eel DNA that they found.
I think so too. I think so too. I don't like I said, I don't think this is a reptilian creature. Of course, you're not gonna find reptile DNA in there.
No.
Uh, I agree with you on that one. So I think my physical object here, with everything,
Done.
I'm gonna go with I think I'm gonna go 6 or 7 here. And Dave's throwing up a 6.
Throwing up a 6 because that's where I was at.
All right, I'll go 6 there. But I think I might have to give a nod with the DNA evidence to actual evidence because I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down there.
I think I
We
might give
weren't talking about that. I think let's put evidence to 9.
yeah. I think I'm at a 9 there.
Like it.
Emotional
Emotion.
aspect. This
Don't.
literally there's
Don't.
an article about how it changed Scotland.
Yeah.
This whole thing. I
Louder.
think the emotional aspect of everything here, the panic it might have caused, the hoo-ha caused. There's still, again, 3 days ago, an article released how they're spending like £2 billion to do this research of Loch Ness
Yeah.
because they're still talking about Nessie. I think the emotional aspect here for this is high, around the world high.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally I might get a Telegraph subscription just so I can read that article. I might subscribe to the Telegraph after we're all said and done here, Dave.
Yeah.
I think the emotional aspect here is high for and not necessarily bad emotion. I think there
No.
is bad emotion but I think there's a lot of good emotion here. The curiosity
I
level
think a lot of curiosity. That's where I was going with it.
is huge, and I think I'm gonna put the emotion aspect here at a 9. I think that's where I'm sitting at. I think it's huge. I think it's been huge since the 16th century.
Wow, that's interesting. I wasn't going to go that high. I definitely see your points. And yeah, I was kind of in the 6 to 7 area.
Graveyard.
Graveyard. So,
Well, if you say 7, I say 9, it's an 8.
yeah. So let's do that. Danger level.
Again, I think
I
this
don't
is
think it's a
one of those
dangerous
things.
animal.
It's not necessarily a dangerous animal. You look at the aggression and everything about it. I
Yeah.
don't think there's a lot of danger to this animal. It's
I
like
mean, I
walking
think its sheer
a sled,
size can
you know,
be
not
a
gonna eat.
danger,
Yeah. But
but
I think I'd probably put the danger level right along with the aggression.
yeah, I'm thinking like a 3. I was trying to get to a 4, but I don't
True.
think so.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could talk myself into a 4.
No.
So what does that give us for a total score?
The audio hurts us, the aggression hurts us. So the Loch Ness Monster gets a 78, oh, excuse me, 68.
This is
6?
my place.
Still not our lowest.
Not your place. This is my place.
60, that's not too bad. I mean, of course, the
So,
audio and the aggression, the danger definitely hurt it.
yeah.
If those would have been, 6s at least, this thing could have been that's 18 more points. That's what, a 86? If we Oh, that's not an 86. That's 3, 6, and 6. That's 12 more points. It takes it
Okay,
to an
so yeah,
80. I would
that
take
would
it
be
to,
an 80. Yeah.
but I mean, the
Oh, yeah.
potential
Rope.
is there.
Audio, yeah. Audio, aggression, and danger were a little bit higher. Yeah, this would be a solid cryptid as it is.
I think
Um,
this is a solid
I
cryptid.
think the sightings and the size, I think those I'd like to give 11s to.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And I think the lore is fantastic. The lore is better than I thought it would be. So yeah, I 68. Okay. I can get behind that.
yeah.
Oh,
Not
shoot.
bad.
I had one more thing. This is kind of lame, but I got a video.
Mm. He's got a video. Does it change our points?
I got a video. So check this out.
All right.
A little more. To the left. Just there. Back of him. And then hand right. Oh my god!
Okay, I can't give points to anything. I can't.
I was like, okay, I can use it. I gotta show this because it was hilarious.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, I don't even. Yeah, I don't even
It's
know.
not
How,
changing the score any, but there you go. It's
yeah,
do with that what you will.
that's funny. Well, folks, that was the look back at the Loch Ness Monster. Again, this was another cryptid that we looked at in season 1.
Before we do that, we've got to ask the question.
Oh, let's ask the question. Is this
Is
a
this a
mythical
myth or is this an actual cryptid?
This, for me, I believe this is an actual cryptid. I am a wholeheartedly believe in the Loch Ness Monster. I think this is
Disgusting.
completely real.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. What about you, Dave? Where are you at sitting? Where are you sitting
Why?
with the Loch Ness? Why, Dave? Why?
Why? Why am I sitting there? I've actually, before I started doing the research on this, I thought Loch Ness Monster is an actual cryptid. But with all the hoaxes out there, all the stuff that they've done,
There's a lot of hoaxes out
there's
there.
a lot of issues. I'm having second thoughts. I'm going to say cryptid, but I think this could very well be a myth or something, a creature that once existed but no longer does.
See, I look back to 1972 and 1987. Those two things that happened.
I mean, yeah, if this thing, what if this creature moved off or passed away by 1990?
Yeah.
But then there's the 2007 footage, which the guy said was the best he'd ever seen. And then he recants his statement on national television.
Yeah.
That has me concerned. Is there some kind of cover up going on too?
Yeah, or it could just been the fear of looking like a crazy person,
Right.
how people
So it's like,
like,
oh no, I don't want to admit that. But
yeah,
then, so it turns around and recants it on TV. But so that makes me think, okay, maybe there could be. So I'm still going to say cryptid,
okay.
but my resolve in it being encrypted has diminished after doing the research.
I think, and it's funny because mine got better after doing the research.
Now I was like, and I think it kind of matches the score for me.
Yeah, I could see that.
I was like 75%. This is a cryptid, and now I'm like, 68%. That's about right. Yeah, I think I went down a little bit with all the hoaxes and stuff, but just the ton of sightings. There's just so
Yeah.
many. It's like
The sightings and the
it's
actual
almost as frequent as UFOs.
Sinner.
that evidence that's
Barbara.
there. I understand, and I don't put the hoaxes in with the evidence. I
No.
know you take everything that you get for as a grain of salt. That's what's out there.
Yep.
But I look at certain things on evidence, and I fell in love with those the 87 deep dive. and I fell in love with the 1972 with the sonar hit and the picture at the same time, catching them at the same time. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that they took it to the national science thing in England there. I know they had some, pushback when he called it a plesiosaurus. Uh, But I love it. I love it. I mean, you have this guy from MIT that creates this stuff, and then they actually get something. I love it. I'm a fan of Loch Ness. I'm
Yeah.
a fan of Loch Ness. But that is again the look back to the Loch Ness. Again, another one that we talked about when me and Dave first started 2 years ago, and we didn't get it that low down scoring system, but I love it. I love this thing.
That was fun. We'll see if it makes the tournament.
Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as we did talking about it. Again, and we will see you next time on our next look back.
Yep. Next look back coming up. You guys be safe, take care, and we'll see you next time on Spiritual Spirits.
Have a good night, guys.
Spirits.